What is it? It's a Metroid!
How does it float?
It's a Metroid, man.
You're right.
In fact, the pirate logs say this similar thing. They figure out how exactly it drains. Well, let me rephrase this. They figured out how the energy it drains goes from the pincers into the nuclei. The pirates can't bloody figure out what it actually is draining. They're like, no blood or other vital fluids are lost, but without it, the subject dies.
Huh.
So I guess there's a little more precedent for magic, or in a little older RPG term usage, the concept of mana, essentially raw life force.
Huh.
It's not a concept widely explored.
But oh yeah.
Not a lot of concepts in Metroid games are widely explored. They're usually introduced and left unfinished.
Yeah. Well, there is one.
Oh, by the way, LJ, look,
yeah?
we got a crab-handed pirate inside that tube.
A what?
Our pincer-handed pirate. You know,
where?
The original Zebezian version. It's in that tube.
Which tube? The big one?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll look at it closely enough. Again.
Wait, it's in the tube?
Yeah, if you read it, it's a failed elite pirate. I fell. Yeah, it's a failed elite pirate experiment. And they used it. And actually, in the instruction manual, there's a picture for the space pirates description, little backstory.
Oh
and,
yeah, the picture.
they use a what would have been a Zebezian design if they had made one in 3D. I personally think they look pretty menacing.
Oh yeah, the retro.
And for reference, it's a little unclear. Zebes was originally inhabited by the Chozo before. Nobody really knows what the Chozo homeworld is. I don't think it's Zebes.
No.
Personally, but for reference, if we refer to Zebezi, we're referring to that version of the space pirate where they're more insect or crab-like.
With pointy boots.
Sometimes pointy boots, but mostly noticeable is their rough
giant
exoskeleton and pincers with lasers that shoot out of them. But yeah, that's what we mean when we call them Zebezian. They do use that term in that one thing, which is probably what caught me on. That's the only thing that I allow it. But it's kind of also obvious, because the only game that those things show up in, other than Fusion, which they're not really explained too well, how exactly the X got a hold of Space Pirate DNA.
Yeah.
But, the only time they show up is on Zebes, for Metroid and Super Metroid. Or, well, actually not in the original Metroid. There were no Space Pirates actually in the original Metroid.
Oh yeah, there weren't.
They explained that in Zero Mission with a Metroid outbreak in Turian. Which also doesn't make any sense, because supposedly Mother Brain's controlling all the Metroids.
Yeah.
Plot holes!
Lots of them. Oh yeah,
anyway, so they do show up in Zero Mission, but not until the after game, when you land in Chazodia.
Oh yeah, you know how earlier...
But at least they were in there.
You know how I mentioned that the Chozo can look into the future a little bit?
Yeah, because in the logs here, they mentioned that they like ascended into kind of like a higher spiritual plane,
like
some kind. They went on Zen mode, Nirvana.
Oh, you know how like they created the Metroids to stop the X?
Yeah, that's the official reason as now. And I say that because who knows when Nintendo decides to change Metroid canon
again.
They've done it well before the one incident. They keep changing because they're not clear enough.
But one theory is that they saw into the future that the X would become a problem. They created the Metroids, and the reason why they didn't create something to stop the Metroids is because they knew Samus would get rid of both of them.
True. You know, the one benefit of Metroid has is they do follow the standard storytelling convention, which I kind of made up. Never get rid of something unless you're absolutely sure you're done with it.
Huh.
Which is kind of what they did with Adam at the end. They didn't kill him off in too definitive fashion, just in case. But they, which obviously because one, how do we get a train? Which I've already mentioned before. Anyway, so
what the hell?
There's always the doors have been unlocked. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh no, I'm just thinking, what the hell is the thermal visor trying to say to you?
Oh, that little noise?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Count E Merimar.
I don't know. All I know is that there's shadow pirates everywhere. And they're annoying because they have more health. Ow.
But yeah, it'd be sweet having like a third person Metroid game played as a GF trooper, like obviously detective or something, just going around investigating stuff, seeing up on all, just checking up on all the people in like cities and stuff, and then later missions have to go try to track Samus and somehow kill her.
Yeah, that wouldn't work as the next Metroid game they do.
I mean, like
they could utilize that concept as like an if they ever get around to making 5, they could then do that as an integral kind of story.
Yeah, that's what I sort of mean. Like, that'd be pretty sweet.
I'll be back here eventually.
I'll be back.
I tried to do the artifact hunting as quickly as I can, though I do screw up majorly at one point.
Oh yeah.
I haven't decided how I'm going to edit that. I forget to go and get... there's an artifact, you can get it, but I'm not good enough.
Oh, for
without
the
the phase-on suit. I forgot to go back and get it, even though I knew I was supposed to. So I kind of waste time.
Oh, you mean
I haven't figured out how I'm going to edit that, because that's... Unless it doesn't take up that much time, then we'll just we'll find something entertaining to talk about. I try to keep a good balance of time efficiency, and authenticity.
Yeah.
Actually, that was a subject I was going to discuss. We mentioned speedrunning came up as a joke in the early episodes when we were in the Chozo Ruins, and I was kind of joking how I was failing at speedrunning. This came up when I was reading an article about the, I don't know if it's actually the record accepted on Speedrun Archives, I haven't looked, which is pretty much the de facto authority on speedrun for records. I know I'm kind of ranting here, but you can chime in if you want. I guess I'll just continue. So I haven't looked if the run was considered to be the official one for the record on Speed Demo Archives, but I was just browsing the internet and found an article about somebody completed Ocarina of Time in less than 20 minutes.
What? Yeah,
this is what I'm trying to get into. The thing being is they abused I guess I'll call it a glitch. Kind of there's different standards. There's an abuse, and then there's which is technically a glitch too, or a quirk in AI programming that you're abusing.
Huh.
And then glitch is kind of higher up. It's really hard. It's a loaded term, to be honest. Anyway, you might not know, but there's a warp glitch which allows you to manipulate where you when you go through a transition.
Yeah.
You can have done stuff that will manipulate the game into loading the incorrect transition point, and you'll go to different places.
What the hell?
I don't know. I didn't watch the video to see how he does it, but essentially, he goes from the Deku Tree to the top of Ganondorf's tower as a kid.
Wait, how do you even kill him?
You can use Deku sticks.
What?
Well, remember, we can already use a bottle to knock back his lightning bolts.
Oh yeah.
So, anything is possible.
Sir, Mr. Ganondorf, how are you defeated? By a Deku stick.
I've never actually used Deku sticks.
Neither did I.
Only for the torch puzzles.
Here's the Super Sheegoth. I mean, rock monster.
Thardus is actually kind of cool. I tried to scan him, but just to do it ahead of time, but I couldn't. Oh well.
I'm just walking. Why is there a pile of rocks here?
Who put this here?
Damn, space pirates have gone nuts this time.
Yeah, see, LJ, this is those little details. If I was playing through the first time, like
What's up, Samus? How's it going?
You know, when I played through the first time, I scanned everything. Some people have called this game scanning the game.
See, if you look at this animation here, and then you compare it to the original one, it seems kind of similar. to the Super Sheegoth.
Anyway, like I was going with that. You scan everything like I did the first time. You get the game. The game gives you subtle hints about this in their pirate research base. They keep talking about Project Titan, and you know how it goes through some points and how suspended indefinitely, and the creature's been locked inside one of the quarantine caves. Oh, look what we found! You know, there's just a lot of foreshadowing in this game to a lot of the bosses.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Same thing with Flagra. A few of the Chozo log entries talk about a great poison, which actually is referring to Phazon, but they start referring how they can see their great fountain running with foul waters, hinting at Flagra. Which I think there's not really that much. I keep missing my super missiles. This boss just has so much HP, it takes a long time to get through.
Yeah.
So, since he's not too interesting, to be honest, because it's just a long fight, let's go back to what I was talking about with speedruns. Have you ever heard, when it comes to literature and storytelling, what's called the suspension of disbelief?
No, I have not.
It's essentially the fact that, okay, I agree that I know that this isn't actually possible to be entertained. Like,
what?
When I tell you a story, you know, a fictional story, you know, we know it's fiction, you know, like Lord of the Rings. When we pick up the book and we start reading it, we tell ourselves, well, we know this isn't real, so we're gonna have to accept some strange things.
Yeah?
But there's only a point that so much people can take.
Yeah.
Before they say this is bullcrap. Even though we're already in a universe full of bullcrap for the most part. You know, elves and dwarves and orcs, you know, you get my point.
Yeah.
That's a very rough way of saying it.
Yeah.
I came up with this reading through a lot of the comments on that Zelda, on the article about the Zelda speedrun record, 20 minutes. And that's the idea I came up with. There becomes a point where abusing defects in the game, so not modifying it externally, but using things in the game still, but that are just broken.
Oh, Aaron.
There's a point where people just won't accept it anymore because it's too much. They no longer feel like you're actually beating the game. There's a point where our suspension of disbelief is gone.
Yeah.
Or in this case, our suspension of belief.
Oh, you blessed my thigh, you ass.
So that's what I'm going for. I think you have to use a little bit of, and this falls upon Speed Demo Archives. As long as they maintain as long as people respect their opinion, then, you know, that's the opinion, because they're, like I said, the de facto speedrunner site, so, you know, if their records are usually what's considered the official.
Oh, I was just thinking.
Yeah. But for other people who are not so into the speedrunning scene, you know, sort of the outsiders, you sort of have to have those, if you want to attract those outsiders, for instance. I know this sounds like such a crude term, but
yeah,
it's kind of the most accurate thing. It's kind of like people who never watch a football game. How do you get people interested in watching football and liking football?
John Madden.
Well, this is kind of a stretch because I'm thinking of this example on the fly. They have to be interested. Like they will have to believe that it's a legit sport.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm sorry. I have, like me. I have a problem accepting foosball, not football. Foosball I would. Ping pong. I have trouble accepting ping pong as a real sport. It's in the Olympics, but I have trouble accepting it as a real sport. They've lost my suspension of belief. Or my... I know, I'm just sort of... That doesn't really make any sense, but...
I have a hard time believing StarCraft 2 is a sport, but in Korea, anything goes.
To be honest, I almost take StarCraft as more of a sport than ping pong, even though they both do take skill.
Yeah.
So honestly, StarCraft is like playing a really complicated game of chess. And you'd argue with people that say chess is a sport. You can argue whether or not it's boring to watch, but that doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I was watching something. Yeah, the Emperor Ing theme, Final Phase, mixed with Thardus' theme. Sounds pretty awesome.
Maybe I'll look
Oh.
it up. Oh, we're about to end here.
I love how Retro had a little fun with this scene.
Oh yeah, I always thought it was funny. Oh man, run away, man!
Is it over? Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's dead.
I think you're ahead of me slightly.
Oh yeah, I probably am.
Oh well.
Oh yeah, and oh wait, now I'll just say it so that the viewers don't hear it.
Okay, we'll get back to it in a second.
Okay then.